It's Inspiration Thursday, and today I am going to bring a conversation to you. She's a podcast producer who resides in Belgium. Yeah, we're going to talk about being a podcaster in Europe. This is going to be so good. Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Well, we are over in Belgium today, speaking with a fabulous colleague of mine. And it's a woman that I hold in high esteem because, you know, when we do this podcasting work, it really is a lot of work. And when she tells her story, where she's working from, and just how she reinvented herself at age 50, rah, 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 to us reinvented folks, you're going to stand up in your seat and say, yeah, I really want to work with her. So today's guest is Laila Noort. She is coming from beautiful Belgium. Laila, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Well, thank you very much for having me on this show. It's really great. Thank you.
Well, I am excited. I really, really am, because everyone has a different way of relating to their audience and bringing podcasts to life. But let me tell everybody that you are a podcast producer, mainly for coaches, women leaders, and brand podcasts. That's a huge spectrum. So that tells me that you know your stuff. You know your audience, you know the people, you know your, as they say, your avatar. How is it that you even decided, I'm mesmerized by this thing of podcasting. I like it. And I am going to turn this into a business. How did this begin for you?
Well, I have worked as an executive assistant for about 20, 30 years. And I've done almost everything on that front. And I've worked in a lot of different companies. And my last assignment was in 2019. I was replacing somebody on maternity leave. And beginning of 2020, it was done. And I wanted to look for another job or another opportunity. And then COVID hit and there was no work, nothing. So I thought it was a sign to look inside me and what I really wanted to do. And like I said, I've done everything on that front and I really wanted to do something different. So I tried to figure out for the beginning part of 2020 what it is that I like to do. And I did a couple of apprenticeships in different areas and decided that that was not what I really like to do. And then I came across podcast management and I thought, wow, this is it, because this is exactly a good extension of the work that I've done before as an executive assistant, supporting people, dealing with a lot of tech and organization. There's a lot of organization involved in podcast management. So I thought, yes, this was it. And I dove in. I really went all in. I am breathing and eating and drinking podcasting. So yeah, I did a lot of courses and a lot of webinars, and I just got involved in a lot of Facebook groups about podcasting. I learned so much from these people as well, and I just wrote everything down, and I eventually I made it into a book, a little book that I wrote, and I use that with my clients now. But it started out just as a learning experience.
Yes.
So yes,
Wow.
podcasting. Who would have thought?
I know. Isn't it amazing? An amazing industry. I
Yes.
love the fact that you were bold enough to take a pause and assess your strengths. Because a lot
Yes.
of times, and tell me what you think about this, a lot of times we want to keep going in that same vein of what we're familiar with. You were an executive assistant in that arena. You definitely knew your stuff, had to be a place of comfort. But then when it shut down, you were bold enough to say, I'm going to take another look at this. What's my skill set? Where am I strong? And when you ran up on podcast production, you felt right at home. Is that what I hear you say?
Yes, definitely. So the combination of doing the podcast management, but also working from home. For me, that has been fantastic. I have, like I said, I've worked in so many companies, and I have worked for a lot of very horrible managers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, now I work for myself, and it's liberating. It's not easy, definitely not easy finding clients and engaging with people on social media. But
Yes.
I'm a big introvert, so that is somewhat in the way of being a successful entrepreneur sometimes. But yes, the combination of working from home and doing this podcast management, and the clients that I have are fantastic. They're
Yes.
so
Yes.
nice, and they're nothing compared to the managers that I've worked for before. So it's amazing. I love
It
it.
it keeps your hope alive, correct? And
Yes.
keeps you aligned and really anchors you in to say, I found what I'm supposed to do and what I love, and I'm in the right place.
Yes. And also the community of podcasters is fantastic. Like I said before, I'm an introvert, so and I feel right at home with this community, and that's something very special. I don't have that very often. So you can
That's
just be yourself, and
yeah,
that's really good. I like that. Yes.
interesting point. I never heard someone just bring it around like that. An introvert, but you feel totally at home. Could it be because your confidence is there? You dove right in and you learned. And though you're an introvert, you still reach out to other podcasters. Hey, we're here. We had a conversation. I'm in Southern California, you're in Belgium, and we're using this marvelous technology and having a conversation about something that both of us love. So could it be that the kinship that you feel with other podcasters is because you really were slated to do this in the now?
Maybe, but yeah, that could be it. I also think that the whole podcasting thing is a bit of a safe environment. Right now, we're using video, we see each other while we're recording this, but mostly it's just you and your microphone, and that's a very safe environment. And I think that's also a reason why a lot of podcasters, especially introverted podcasters, like doing that. So I found a lot of people that are very kind, very patient. You could ask questions and they would not be upset if you ask the same question over and over again, or if you think you come up with a stupid question, they never say like, oh, look at her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very nice. Everybody's so nice, and everybody wants to help each other. And so there's a lot of competition, of course, in the podcasting world, but everybody's so kind. And the whole thing of going as a guest on somebody else's podcast, it's also lovey-dovey almost.
Lila, I have to agree, but I've never run into, and I've been doing, I started this in 2017, I have never run into a podcaster that was not willing to help, to give information. As a matter of fact, I have found most podcasters, we overgive. We give profusely. And I think the underlying fact is that there's competition, but we want to see anybody who has the grit and the gumption and the commitment to do this kind of work to be successful, because we understand that there's plenty of everybody at the end of the day.
Yes, definitely. And especially here in Europe, the podcasting world is still very small compared to the US. Well, we see this trend going on that I really do not like, of a lot of celebrities starting podcasts here in Europe, backed with big media companies. So big productions that a normal person almost can't compete with. And my goal is to show people that podcasting is for everybody.
Yes.
And especially for a not famous person, because the stories that they have to tell are much more interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I commend you for that, because you're right. Here in the States, we have a lot of celebrities coming on, but it seems like for every celebrity, there's someone such as myself who has a message and wants to connect and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be heard. It's controlled and it's strategic, but everybody gets a chance to be heard. So with that in mind, Laila, how can the states connect with you, say your company, and we help bridge that gap? What do you imagine we can do so that it's probably going to be an organic grow, a slow grow, because people's pockets don't go really, really deep. But I can't imagine that a collaboration can't make this thing, your dream, come true, your vision become a true reality and spread out. So what do you think about that? What can be done?
Well, I think we just have to continue with what we're doing right now, is this kind of podcast, to show people in Europe that this is much more valuable than a celebrity talking about or talking with somebody else about what they did 10 years ago at a party. And it's like, that has no value. So, people listen to podcasts to learn something and or to get information. So my idea is that we need to continue doing that on a larger scale, maybe even, and show Europe that there is room for them as well in this kind of podcast. The only thing is we have so many different languages here, so that is a bit difficult. So your market is always going to be smaller than in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a bit of a, that is difficult. If a German person wants to make a podcast, he will probably, or she will probably, do it in German. So that market is going to be Germany and maybe Switzerland and that sort of places, but not a lot bigger than that. Then again, one of my other clients, she is Danish and she has a practice in Luxembourg, and she does it in English with a lovely accent, and I love it. Yeah. So that's also a possibility.
Got you. I wonder how feasible is it, since there are so many different languages, how feasible would it be to just hone in on one area and just saturate it, it's almost like infuse podcasting into that one region and grow that out? I don't know. I'm sitting here brainstorming, because I really, really agree. People listen to podcasts to learn, to better understand something, to be introduced to a new thought, something brand new, because listening to podcasts is an investment, and you're out to give that knowledge base to people in many different regions. I think that's totally commendable. Totally.
Yes. So that's why I started my own podcast about podcasting. And I'm trying to do that in 2 languages. So I record 1 episode in English and 1 episode in Dutch, which is my native language. So I'm trying to get a bit more clout into the Dutch podcasting world, but like I said before, also there a lot of celebrities are starting up podcasts, and they do 2-3 episodes and then they drop it again, but then it gets so much publicity that it's high ranking, so other people are like, oh no, I could never compete with that. So that is my goal for the next coming months, to show the Dutch people that it's feasible and it's fun, and you should do it because it's good for business, and you can make so many good connections when you have a podcast. You can repurpose one episode. There are so many reasons why people should start a podcast.
Indeed. It sounds like it's opened many, many doors for you in your mind and in your heart and among your countrymen. It's just wonderful. Gosh.
Yeah. Yes. And on a personal level, I'm doing things that I never thought I could do. Next week, I'm going to talk with an organization about doing a workshop. And like I said, as an introvert, that is something very, very scary to do. But I'm just going to say yes on everything now. And I would never have done that in my previous career. And so I really want to make a success of this.
You will. You will. It's, as my mentor and strategist says, podcasts grown organically. They are the best, and they are the ones that are here tomorrow. They're not just a flash in the pan. It's not like the celebrities that are pumping out 2 or 3 episodes. And here we are, world. You should be glad that we're here. No, people such as Laila Noort are here to stay. And it doesn't matter that you're an introvert. You are moving along at a very good, rapid pace. Will you tell us how people can get in contact with you so that they can work with you? As a matter of fact, let's back it up a little bit more. I want people to understand, since podcasting really is new and it's scary because there are many different layers to it, and people may want to do it, but they don't know how to get started. So will you take us into your laboratory and let us take a glimpse into what it's like to work with you, and then tell people how to get in contact with you?
Okay. Well, I have like a launch package. So when a client decides to work with me, I do a launch package of 6 weeks. We will start out, the client will get my book that I've written with all the basics of podcasting, and they're including what kind of equipment you need to buy, what kind of space you need to record in, recording techniques, that sort of thing. So really basic knowledge that every podcaster should know. So that person the client can read the book and buy the equipment, because I think if you start a podcast, you need to have good equipment.
Yes.
And not record on your phone, because that's really not sufficient. So after the book is read and the equipment is bought, then we will have a chat about 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And then I will answer any questions they have. And we will set up the equipment and the software to record on. The client will start with tryouts, and record little things and then send it to me, and then we'll discuss it and see where we can improve. The intro and outro will be recorded, and a little trailer so we can initialize the podcast. And I will make the artwork and more of that sort of things. And then we'll record 3 episodes, which I will edit and publish and write the show notes and make the social media posts and the audiograms. And after that, we will go on with podcast production, and that's a monthly thing. And so I will do all the editing and all the things that I just mentioned. But I also will give analytics once a month to see where we can grow and where we can change and adapt and that sort of thing. So for me, what the nicest part is that it's teamwork. It's not just my client, but we're doing this together. We're trying to better ourselves. We are trying to give feedback to each other so we can grow. So not only the client with her or his podcast, but also me with my work that I do, so we can make a better product, because that's what it's all about. I want my client to have the best podcast there is.
Gotcha. Gosh.
Yes.
When you say that you are a podcast producer, you are a podcast producer. You are birthing podcasters into this world, into this industry, holding them by the hand. Laila, do you find that most of that's the essence of what people love about you, is that they're not doing this by themselves? They have that firm connection. Yeah. Accountability. Correct.
Yes, and also, you can talk about new ideas. And for example, one of my clients said this week, I got that guest on the show that I've really, really wanted. Thank you for pushing me to go out and ask her, because otherwise I would not have done that. And that is, for me, like the cherry on top. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Laila Noort, how do people get in contact with you? You're about to set Europe on fire. That's all I can say. How do they reach you?
Well, I am very active on LinkedIn, so you can find me there. I also have a website. It's called thepodcastjourney.com. And like I said, I'm very active on LinkedIn. Most of my clients are on LinkedIn. But I also have a Facebook page and an Instagram account, and also under the name of the Podcast Journey.
Podcast Journey. And it is a journey, isn't it?
Yes, that's why the name was perfect. Yes, because it's a journey, and I want to take people on this journey. And I will pack the bags, and we'll just head out and take that flight.
I love it. Laila Noort, I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for opening up so many doors for people in Europe. It looks like you're very ambitious. One podcast is in English and the other in, as far as language goes, English and Dutch. You are a podcaster's podcaster. What can I say? So
yes.
Any parting words, any final words of encouragement or value? Because this whole thing has been valuable, but any last words before we sign off?
Well, like you said in the beginning, this year I'm going to be 50. And I can't believe I'm going to be 50 this year. But yes, if I can be an inspiration to somebody else who wants to make a career change at 50, then please do so, because it's really worth it, because I've never been as happy as I am right now.
Yes. Oh, what a lovely way to end. It's all about reinventing yourself. And boy, oh boy, the world is better because you chose to become a podcast producer. So thank you for your work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on this show. It was lovely.
Oh, thank you. We're going to stay in contact. We really, really are. Audience, don't be surprised if I don't go ahead and bring over some of Laila's podcasts, and we'll just shoot them on in as bonus episodes. I feel a connection here with this lady. I really, really do. But as always, it is so hard for me to conclude these awesome episodes. I'm getting all choked up. But I see things just coming together. Here we are post-pandemic, and that brought us together. The world brought us together, and podcasting continues to bring the world together if we let it be so. So I'm Margaret Levette, another grand episode. I'll be back. We started an Inspiration Thursday, so I'll be back for next week, Inspiration Thursday, and I'll be back that following day for How To Friday. So join me on Thursday and Friday. We're doing that. We're riding this thing out to make sure that everyone who reinvents has a firm foundation as far as inspiration and how to reinvent, become a podcaster, a author, an entrepreneur. So I'll see you on Thursday. I'll see you on Friday. Take care. And if you want to keep wearing your mask and wash your hands, you do just that. I give you permission. Okay. Bye-bye now. I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.